I just really feel really blessed to be in this position.
New competitors coming out of nowhere, so essentially, how do you feel now? Do you feel less confident?
I think the signs of a true champion is just, you know, meeting the challenge, man.
Another guy I want to ask you about is Chris Bumstead.
Of course you did. Of course you want me to ask him about him. Of course you do.
It's good to finally meet you in person, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Good to meet you in person. I've seen all the content, I've seen the stuff, so I feel like I know you already. I appreciate it.
You know what I noticed about you? You're always positive, always smiling. You're the most positive person in the world, man.
Well, yeah, man,
Is that how you really are?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think, you know, I just feel really blessed to be in this position, and I've just been raised right. My parents have just raised me right to kind of always be humble, to kind of always really kind of just don't get too excited and don't get too high. Things come your way.
So I wanted to ask you, when you were growing up, what were your aspirations? Was bodybuilding always in your family? Was it something you kind of always had interest for?
No, not always. My first interest is track and field and football since I was like 6, 7 years old. Then, you know, I kind of moved along into track and field and football, and I started noticing, magazines, bodybuilding magazines. Let's see, you got Flex magazine, you have Muscular Development, and then I just noticed the physiques on there, bodybuilding wise, you know, when I was about 11, 12 years old. Then that's when that kind of, my interest, you know, I was kind of fascinated with the physiques, and that's when that kind of started. I put it in the back of my mind, but, you know, like all kids that started football, man, we want to go to the league. We want to go to the NFL, and those were my dreams and aspirations.
So you were trying to?
Absolutely, to go to the NFL, and that was it. And I, you know, like all kids and all teenagers, we put all our eggs in that basket, right? So it was a harsh reality when that didn't happen. I kind of had a little cup of coffee in the Arena League, playing arena football in Florida, Jacksonville, which was cool. But injuries are reality. Didn't work out to make it all the way to the NFL. So that's when entertainment, acting kind of, you know, took place. And then
actually, we were talking about the scenes. You're actually an actor, right? You're auditioning all the time?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that was my, I graduated with the liberal arts, performing arts degree from Iowa State University. Yeah, so I was one of the few. It was kind of different, you know, for a college football player to be studying theater. Definitely when during my time. So, and I kind of took pride in that, you know. So I went with that. I said, okay, you know what? I'm liking this. I like being different. I like going against the grain a little bit, and came out here when arena football was done. I said, let me go ahead and do it. You know, parents already lived out here, stayed with them for a bit, then moved to North Hollywood, where I still live in like 2004, and was able to do some pretty good stuff, some pretty exciting things.
Obviously, your physique was a challenge for being an actor. I'm assuming you were in shape and larger than other actors.
Right. Well, you know, my physique back then wasn't looking like how it is now. I was a lot smaller then. So when the only challenge really came in, like, you know, when in maybe 2011, 12, when I really started taking bodybuilding seriously, and when my physique really started growing, muscularity-wise, that's when it was a problem, because my agents and my managers were like, Breon, your face looks a certain way, but then your body looks totally different. And so we don't really know how to, we don't really know how to pitch you, where to pitch you. And the people that, you know, are in charge of casting you, they don't really know, how, you know, where to fit you in and where you're gonna fit in. So I was kind of discouraged a little bit, and then that's when I went, you know, full steam ahead into bodybuilding. I said, well, let me just get bodybuilding everything right now, and then kind of put acting on the back burner.
So the Classic Physique division announcement came in 2016, I believe. That's when the first competition was held. Prior to that, were you going to like bodybuilding, like Men's Open? So where were you trying to fit in exactly?
I was getting ready to do the 212 division. Yeah, the 212 division was...
Basically Men's Open.
Yeah, basically men's open. It most definitely is, but just a smaller version of men's open. You got to be under 212 pounds. So, but they sure don't look it. They look like 250, 260 still. So yeah, that was where I was gonna go with it, and then they came out
because you were really big. Because most guys came from men's physique, I believe, right?
Yeah, yeah. That was pretty much mostly the path that people were taking. Some 212 guys were moving down to classic, but it was probably mostly men's physique moving up to classic, I would say.
So we heard the announcement, right? You right away wanted to go to the division. Why did you want to go from 212 to that?
I did a few 212 shows already in 2014, and it didn't go well. So before Classic was announced, I was taking a strong look at what I was even going to really do with this thing, because I knew I could be great and I knew I can do well, but I was like, well, those didn't go well, and of course that was discouraging. I did the New York Pro in 2014, big show, starting my first one, then the Phoenix Pro, and they didn't go well. So I just kind of had to just take a step back and think about what I wanted to do. And I remember and then Classic was announced in the late 2015, right? It was like later that year, and then the first show was in 2016, early. And then I said, oh, well, you know what? My best look was when I turned pro at 175 pounds. That was my best look. And I was doing the research on where I needed to be weight-wise as far as my height for Classic division, and it was 175 at the time, 175. So I said, okay, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and attempt to do that and try to take it to the top, because that was my best look. I know it, and and mind you, I was preparing to do the 212 at this time, so I was hovering around 216, 17, 18 pounds. Yeah, So now I had to shift my whole type of training and lose a lot of weight to come down to 175. It hurt. It hurt, but it was worth it. It was worth it, because look where we stand now.
You felt like you found something that's yours, to control that, to rule that, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
Next year.
There you go. So I just took that, that fuel that I had, a little bit of that chip on my shoulder from not doing it as well as I wanted to do, and just carried it on through the next year with my training, with my focus, with my intensity, and luckily we were able to get the championship that next year.
The competition just kept getting harder, actually, because more competitors, and then next year it got more competitive.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you just saw guys, just physique competitors coming up that had great potential. You saw guys from all over the world coming all over the place, that had great shape, and it definitely, most definitely, definitely doesn't get any easier, because guys are coming. They're coming, and they want that title, and I don't blame them. Good for them.
You're part of probably the most competitive division right now. Everybody either switching to that division, or new competitors coming out of nowhere. So how do you feel now? You're less confident when you go to these battles all the time?
I feel even more confident. I mean, I think the signs of a true champion is just, stepping up to meeting the challenge, man. Meeting the challenge, and, when the challenge increases and it is big, or as, I don't know, I say unattainable that it might seem, that we just want to go and grab it and continue to grab it, So that's the way I feel. I feel that I just kind of relish in the fact that it gets even more, that it gets tougher and tougher. And you have guys that look even more great, and that are coming with a lot of heat, and to just stay on top. I think that's just great. And plus I'm doing a lot of, I'm getting a lot of my competitiveness out of me, because remember, football didn't work out for me, so I'm still getting it out of my system and having fun with it.
From what I've seen, you got top-notch physique, and what I've seen on that stage. What do you do to follow through? Do you get bigger? Do you get more conditioned? How do you improve?
I think it's a little bit of both of what you said. You kind of maybe can add more.
But you can't, the weight has to stay consistent.
Sure, yes.
That's a challenge.
Yes, that is a challenge. So if you put on a little bit more muscle, which we can, then you're gonna have to work that much harder to come down to the same weight, you know? To lose that much more water, to lose that much more fat, to come down to that same weight. And then maybe even you do the same next year. You're not gonna put on that much muscle because that would just be counterproductive, you know, to put on 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds of muscle per year. And if the weight stays the same, just have to come down to that much. But yeah, half a pound, 1 pound, pound and a half, 2 pounds of lean muscle mass makes all the difference in the world. And I think if you do that from year to year to year and you know, do the work to come down to that weight that you have to do it, I think the physique I know that the physique just will look that much better and that much more, have just that much more wow factor to it, you know. And that's what we go for, just wow factor of the physique. Everything popping, everything looking like wow.
How much do you care about who competes against you?
Not into my preparation, but please believe I do know who's out there, and I do know I do know who they say, you know, has a chance to take me down or has a chance to, you know, give me my stiffest competition. Most definitely I do. But as I'm training and with my focus, I'm definitely not thinking about them. I'm thinking about everything that I have to do, you know, because for me, I put that much more on my plate every year to continue to look great and continue to have the championship look that I need, you know, to kind of make it undeniable. I don't really want it to be close. So, you know, I just kind of put more on my plate and kind of like my day-to-day routine of what I do and how I go about my business. For instance, you know, I might train twice a day earlier on in the year, you know, which I might not have done the previous year. Or, yeah, just add little stuff to the plate to just, you know, keep making the physique, you know, the best.
Another guy I want to ask you about is Chris Bumstead.
Of course you did. Of course you want me to ask him about him. Of course you do.
I feel like you two have very different physiques, but it's a good competition. What do you think about his physique and him competing against you, especially at the Olympia last year?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We'll definitely be right there again for this Olympia. I think Chris has great physique. Again, I don't think his physique can match up against mine when I'm on my A game and when I'm 1,000%. I just don't think I see it. But, you know, for me being a fan of the sport and me just seeing with my eyes and being objective about it, I think that he has a great physique and great wow factor to his physique. I don't think he is as complete as I am from head to toe. And I think that's what has allowed me to be victorious over him over the past couple of years. Yeah, the back and just other things, just complete, just not really lacking any body parts that are kind of obvious, you know. So just the completeness, man, of just the development of the body parts from head to toe is, I think, what I bring to the table. I feel Arash is a great competitor. I feel he's a great competitor, and he's a very nice guy. Let me say that. And then, man, I don't blame anybody who wants to come and take my title away. You know, that's what we're in this for, to do our best and to win. Damn it, so more power to them.